going down to
Did a boat sink or how did it?
no, she got caught big deck load, rolling shoulder, rolling hard, and she got in the trough. You know what was holding her down. But I can't believe it. Everybody was astounded. Why they didn't take pictures of that in the newspaper? But so yeah. Then of course there's my famous tow of all. In the winter, January, we went up to tow a Cleveland lift boat, public steel, all the way down to the foot of Main Street and turn and put them up with the mutes of the Great North. That's a long tow. Because at dead work in the wintertime, you just as slow as you can go because if you got going too fast, you couldn't brake. There's no engine to help you. So we get up there and had a January thaw. Ice is coming down. So I called the dispatcher and I said, no way we can do anything with this because they're only that far off the bottom and it's like a dam. You couldn't do nothing. The current would put you right over the bank. So my tech hand says, look over there, up where that little point for National Landline used to be. There's 10 or 12 guys up on the bank and they got a heave-on line, trip line about that thick, and there's a steer, big steer, on the bank. Come out later. He broke loose from the ship from the stockyard. I don't know just where it was, up William Street, somewhere. Ran down the railroad track, across South Park Avenue, into the National Landline, through that, and he got to that point and no place to go and he couldn't stop. So somebody apparently saw it. I must have been scared to death. All of a sudden, here's the plant. I was calcing running along. So anyway, before I even got there, they had a lasso on his head, and there's a heave, and you can just see the neck coming out of the. And my deckhand says, "Tell him to throw the line over." He says, "Go to hell if he drowns enough to buy the damn steer." Finally, I said, "Well, all right." I felt bad for him. So I hooked him up at four-legged. My dad told me years ago, anything with four legs can swim. And he was going right with me. So I had to lay head up and drop down to the double bridges because if you didn't get the bridge, you're headed down. So anyway, they finally got the bridge up. I dropped down, started first, right through the bridges. And a little pier at Smith Street. Came in there and drove the tug up, throw the line over. The farmer, how he found out the farmer and two or three other guys were there to get the cow. I killed the cow as a steer. So they tried and they couldn't. He's up in the muck about to here. I said, throw the line back, put it in a cleat, back them out, just drop down, just sideways, and the other side of the little pier, and drove it up again. And they finally got him out. And they just about had him half out of the water, and the farmer hollered over, and he says, "Thanks a lot, fellows. I'd like to send you fellows a check, but." So I had a friend of mine was a Coast Guard cutter captain, and Gibble, she's in Buffalo. And every time he'd see me, walk past us, say, yippee-ki-yi, get on my little dog. I put a story in the paper and I got quite a pictures. So I call that my most unusual tow.
I have a question. It's bothered me since I'm a kid. Where did you fuel the tow? Where'd you get the fuel?
Diesel or the coal?
I don't know. I just always were going and going and going. I've never seen you in a gas station.
You started with coal.
We never went to the gas station.
Was there a thing made at the tugboat station?
How you doing, Greg?
Both for sure.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Well, in answer to your question, for coal, we just went through the old Jackknife Bridge there at the tug office up at the West Shore. And so They didn't have four shifts bunkers. That's bunkers side to side, but some of the big tugs did, just on either side.
You shoveled coal on them?
No. We just pulled up to the dock, and there was four hatches about that big around. Pull them off, and then the spout would come down and fill the four. By then, the tug was listed decks of two on the one side. And then very carefully we let go and very slowly turn around and come back in, and then they kind of put it and go back. But I was on one tug that had that on either side for the big thwartshift bunker. And she was so big, you almost needed a coal passer. When you start running on a coal, you had to run back in, get a shovelful, and run back out. Had 3 furnaces in the boiler. And that took a lot of coal. They put that right in from the top.
I often wondered how you managed.
But when the diesels come, initially we go up West Shore, Leduca. We had the coal boat, fuel lighter. They'd fuel the steamboats up. But there was a coal dock right at the foot of Main Street. Down where the hatch is, the hot dog, where it used to be down there, coal dock. And they would, if they're loading coal, they load their own hatch with the stuff they're getting from that. But anyway, Leduca bought a little tanker, brand new, had it made, and we could fuel off of that, diesel fuel, or then we shifted to the foot of Hamburg Street where the tugs are right now, and the fuel trucks had come along, fuel the tugs. And so that's no problem getting fuel. My grandfather's time, he was born in 1864. He died in 1940. His license is around here someplace. He renewed it in 1936, and apparently sometime after that he retired. He died in 1940. But then, of course, my 4 uncles, his sons, all tug captains. And then I come along, and I was a tug captain. My cousin Mike come along, he was a tug captain. And my son, for a short while, was a tug captain. So I talked to people about it, and they said, that 100-year thing, companies don't last for 100 years, you know. They're still going. They have tugs in Puerto Rico and Hawaii, and they're building a shipyard. They got a dry dock, and they repair barges and tugs. They built 2 saltwater tugs. They sold as soon as they sold it, so they're doing pretty good yet.
How many tugs are left in Buffalo now? Just the 2 down in Hamburg Street.
I think there's like 150 that were built in Buffalo, right?
Tugs were built.
Tugs, yeah.
There was the Iowa. As far as I know, the only tug that was built in Buffalo was the Iowa.
So were they built in Tonawanda?
Oh no, these are all the little wooden tugs. You got pictures of them. But the Iowa was built in Buffalo. But I personally have been captain on 37 different tugs.
What was the most that were in Buffalo at one time?
Well, of course I worked other places, but no, the most I were ever here, 7 tugs, 1 steam tug, and the rest were diesels. And then come winter time, before the ice set in, they sent another steam tug from Cleveland for the winter. And every time you get different tugs. And the reason they did that, if something happens to the steam tug, there's all the ships anchored out at the breakwall. How you going to get the windlass up? So that's what they used to do that. And then later on, they figured air compressor and did the same thing. But that's another story more than with the breakwall. That was. But I worked on 37 boats, and people think you're a job jumper. Look at all these. Well, it was all one company. And then, of course, I worked for the same company in Cleveland, and I was manager of operations, Detroit and Toledo.